Hi, this is Sweet Life and I'm Natasha, back at it with the recipe for Banh Mi. Planning to host a Super Bowl party or in the mood for a sandwich and just looking for something a little different? Try my take on Banh Mi, a combination of crusty French bread, flavorful meat, and pickled vegetables that are crunchy and tangy. Mix it up with different cuts of meat or by swapping in your favorite vegetables.
Okay, and so here I have a few pounds of chuck roast, which I'm just going to slice up. You want them to be, if you think of like how meat is sliced for beef and broccoli, fairly thin but not paper thin. You also want to be aware of the grain. Slice against the grain so that way the meat is nice and tender when it cooks up. Again, not too thin. In a bowl, combine soy sauce, mirin, fish sauce, minced garlic, garlic chili sauce, brown sugar, canola oil, allspice, and minced ginger. Stir it up, add it to our meat, give it a really good toss, get it really nicely coated. You can actually let this marinate for a bit of time. Overnight is fine. Here I have a cast iron pan that I've just heated some oil in, and I'm going to cook the meat in this. One layer as best as possible, just stirring occasionally, letting it cook away. To this, I add a little bit of cornstarch that just helps to thicken up the gravy, which we're actually going to cook out. But for now, we don't want it to be like watery and whatnot, right? We want it to have like a nice sheen to the meat. We want the meat to absorb some of that liquid, a little bit of water just to better deglaze the pan and to give it a little bit more time to cook. Taking care to like break up any lumps of cornstarch that you might see. And just let this cook away. It comes together really quickly. And here you have it. The meat has been cooking for a while. You can see that the gravy's thickened up a bit. And it's just about done. So we'll just let it go from there. And really, you can use whatever kind of meat you want. When you order banh mi at restaurants, it comes in a variety of types of meat and cuts. It's really your choice. Choose whatever you like. You can do chicken, you can do other cuts of beef, you can do pork, whatever you like. Here it is that I've just cooked this down until the liquid has evaporated from the pot. Set that off to the side and let's move on to our vegetables. Here I have jicama, carrots, and a cucumber. And this we're just gonna really julienne. Jicama is a refreshing vegetable. I would say the inside of it is white. It's not exactly potato looking texture, but somewhat similar. And pretty much what you're going to do is just peel this with a potato peeler. The skin is very easy to peel off. I would, of course, recommend a potato peeler rather than a knife, just because of the curve of the vegetable. It's very refreshing in flavor. It has like a high water content. It's really great in salads. And you can find it year round, but I find it's really good during the summer especially. Once you get a peel, just cut the ends off of it. You want all the skin off. Carrots are carrots, cucumbers as well. Just cut the ends off. I leave the skin on, but it's up to you if you want to peel them. Just cut the ends off the carrots and the cucumbers, and basically what I do is just take the skin off so that it's a little bit flat on just one side, and from there I'm just going to cut it into like juliennes, so, somewhat thick though, not super thin, and just go on through with that. Same thing with the jicama. Julienne the vegetables. You don't want them to be too thick, because you want them to be able to nicely absorb the pickle liquid that we're going to make. Now, I'm using regular cucumbers, but you can certainly use English cucumbers. Those wouldn't have like the seeds in the middle, so you'd have a little bit less moisture, but regular cucumbers are just as fine. And again, you're just going to julienne them. I leave the skin on. If you want to peel them, that's completely up to you. It's your world. You can also try other vegetables, whatever suits your fancy. And what we're looking for is consistency here. Julienne or matchstick is perfectly fine. Just make sure that you cut the vegetables about the same size and thickness. In a pot, combine water, white vinegar, sugar, salt, and garlic chili sauce if you'd like a little bit of spice. Heat this in a saucepan on the stove, and this is going to be our pickling liquid. It comes together really quickly, and you can also use this to pickle other things. Cucumbers on their own. You can actually cut down the sugar a bit and use this liquid as well to do onions for escabeche fish. Just cook this medium, low heat or whatnot. Maybe let it boil a little bit, but just take care to keep an eye on it because of the sugar, and then just go ahead and stir it every now and then. When it comes to a boil, go ahead, take it, pour it over the vegetables. Take the vegetables and let them sit for a while. You want them to absorb that flavor. And you'll find if you let them sit for like a day or so, it'll give off quite a bit of liquid. It needs some time for the flavors to develop, for the vegetables to absorb that flavor. So I would suggest making this the day before. You can also set the meat to marinate the day before, so that when we're ready to assemble, it all comes together very quickly. Here I have some French bread, our meat, and a little bit of mayo. To the mayo, I'm just going to add some garlic chili sauce. It's up to you. You can leave it out if you'd like. And this I'm going to take and just spread over the bread. It's a nice mayo. It adds a little bit of heat, but it's not overwhelmingly hot. And just take a spoon, spread this over, or whatever like mayo or aioli you might like. It's completely up to you. Spread the meat over the bread, and I would say put it on one side to kind of make it easier to assemble. The ones you get from the restaurant are substantially neater, but mine's is a messy sandwich. Stuff is going to be falling out. Get comfortable, get some napkins, you're good to go. Pile the vegetables onto the meat. Get like a mix of everything that you have, and just top it with the other piece of bread. And with that, you're good to go. You can serve this with additional pickled vegetables on the side, however you want to have it. Just slice it in half and you're good to go. As you can see, I've overstuffed the sandwich, so it's all spilling out and everything. It's completely up to you. This is, I think, a good idea if you're looking for something different, a different take on sandwiches. It's good the next day, so you can certainly make quite a bit of it. And, just wrap it up, take the leftovers to work the next day, school the next day or whatnot. And even with the vegetables in there, heating it up isn't a problem. It doesn't take away from it. And the bread doesn't end up being like soggy. I would say if you're planning to make it in advance, maybe let the bread get a little bit stale and then assemble the sandwich. So that way it'll be dried out a little bit and it won't end up being as soggy the next day. Or even if you'd like, your mileage might vary, you can go ahead and toast it. But it's just a different sandwich to make and enjoy. Thanks for tuning in. To ensure you don't miss any episodes, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and check out my cooking at home playlist. Go ahead and click that thumbs up button if you like what you saw, and go ahead and share it on social media.